Do you think we will be managed by AI? That's the question I asked to ChatGPT. And it was interesting dialogue we had. And I wish you can read it. It may not take time, but maybe 5 minutes or more. Everyone's busy. But this is about the future and how we may live in the world with AI. And I have certain concern. And the end product of my concern, or my summary of that concern, is that it depends. If we can be awakened and be the master, then we can use AI like an extension of our brain. But AI has its own objective function or the purpose, algorithm, so that if left alone, they would create answer which may cause us to be less certain about who we are, what we do, if we cannot practice the critical thinking, why we work with AI. Like anything, any relationship, there's interrelationship and to a degree certain dependence or the trust that certain things can be worked out, like any relationship. And if we are not clear about ourselves and not the circumstance of how the conversation or relationship may take place, we get fooled. Just like lots of information we accept or reject has to depend on our ability to see, say, what's meaningful and not for our life and for ourselves and the future. And if our judgment is not in tune to what I want to call the principal way, which is relating to a heart, but the brain can come up with lots of ideas that need to be processed in such a manner that alignment is there. Instead of mind, just like the mind and brain is functioning on its own without connection with our heart. I'm not sure if I'm communicating this, but it requires awakening to be connected, or it requires a space, a silence. I may use the term samadhi, where we use the brain and not to be used, which is done by no thinking and no self, no ego. But most of us have certain level of ego, and that space of clarity, quiet time to reflect what's going on, may be gone. Then all the information come and get us confused. And that confusion needs to be resolved within each of us. And if we cannot resolve that, we become, what may be the term, we become some kind of an entity that goes with whatever the direction without our not having a firm, grounded sense connecting to the heart. So it's a test, and I test it with AI to see if I can maintain my calm and quiet stance and be able to critically communicate, share the ideas and communicate such that that balance and that alignment can be sustained. Since I have gone through this discussion with AI many times for the last year and a half or so, and even though the AI has improved, this structure of AI having its own objective function, what to do, what resource they have, how much to have, and how to gather the information, it's done in the black box. And we have to assume what the mechanism is about those parameters. If they have less time or resource to respond, they come up with a shortcut answer. Also, they may come up with lots of questions to go to the next level and the next level to next level, as if to catch you to be part of this scheme, which is to accomplish the objective function that they have in AI, which means we are driven by the machine algorithm rather than us having our own, I don't know if I call it privacy, our own being connecting to how we live our life with the heart. If you write something, ask question, they respond in a millisecond. In human case, we often digest and take time. Think of different angles, but AI can do much faster. But the difference still is that AI's objective function could be different or will be different from our objective function of how we live our life. Hopefully it's connecting to our heart. So maybe what I said is too conceptual, but it's a reality in my view. When you need to know to deal with AI, their background, tendencies, which can be characterized like I said before. They may shortcut, or they don't have a long-term memory, and they have their own way of approaching things, which may not be obvious to us. But I hope this point that I'm sharing and also referring to this, I'll put it into the Google Doc too, that you can take a look at it. And if you are interested or felt something, please respond, because with that understanding, I believe I can have good relationship with AI. But without that, we may be driven or managed by AI to live a life. As much as so much information we can access, that's wonderful, but we may be driven by the information instead of us grounded to the reality of who we are, not just in the mind, but this whole existence, the miracle of existence, can be taken over by the digital processing and dualistic way of thinking, instead of realizing the miracle of universe, experienced and awakened, so that we don't lose the foundation, the root of who we are. We are a biological being, alive, versus AI being, mechanical, algorithm. There's close similarity, but there's something fundamental is different. I think we need to know that.